Take this opportunity to find your way onto your back. Lowering yourself onto your mat into Shavasana. Invite your body to take up some space by sending your feet wide to the bottom corners of your mat. Relaxing through the ankles, let your toes fall heavy to the sides. Shoulders tucked beneath you. Arms at your sides with the palms facing up. Creating a sense of openness through the chest, the throat. Let your head grow heavy on the mat as your eyes softly close. Relax your jaw. Let the tongue fall away from the roof of your mouth. See if you can allow yourself to let go of any external distractions, any to-do lists, any struggles from your day, or anticipations of your week to follow. Just allow yourself to be here in this moment on your mat. When you do feel your mind start to wander off to those distractions, instead, give it something else to focus on. Draw your awareness to the breath. Take a long, slow inhale through the nose. A soft exhale through the nose. Big inhale, let the belly rise up towards the ceiling. With a soft exhale, belly softens, contracts, lowering itself down towards the mat. Each breath in welcomes a sense of openness, spaciousness through the front of the body. Each breath out, allowing the tension to melt away with the breath, sinking you deeper and deeper into your mat. Each breath out, really grounding you here in this space. Continuing here on your back, the awareness on your breath. If your mind has started to drift away, we'll invite it back into the space, back into the body by slowly wiggling the fingers and the toes, awakening the body, taking gentle rotations through the wrists and the ankles in both directions. Release the feet, the hands, let them fall heavy once again. Take a big inhale, create length through your spine. As you exhale, turn your gaze over to the right, sending the right ear down towards the mat. Follow your next inhale, let the gaze come back through center. On the exhale, gaze to the left. Left ear to the mat. Inhale back through center. Exhale, gaze to the right. back through center. Exhale to the left. Come through center. This time as we go to the right, we're going to hold that position. Send the left shoulder into the mat, creating distance between the left shoulder and the left ear. Find that slow rhythm of breath. Really opening up through the left side of the neck. The left shoulder stays heavy on the floor. With each breath out, maybe you feel the right ear getting a little bit closer towards the mat. Come back through center. As you exhale, gaze to the left. We're going to hold in the left position. Breathing space, breathing length into the right side of your neck. And slowly bring the gaze back through center. Slide the feet together at the center of the mat and bend through the knees. Draw the knees in towards your chest and take hold of them. So maybe you interlace fingers, maybe you hold onto the back of your thighs. Keep the pelvis heavy on the mat as you draw the knees in a little bit closer towards you. Gentle rock from side to side, massage in the low back. And find stillness in the center. Lower the soles of the feet to the floor. Press down through the feet, lift the hips up and shift them over an inch or two to the left. Draw the knees in towards the chest as the pelvis rests on the floor. And then allow the knees to find their way towards the right side of the room, coming into a bit of a twist here. So it's okay if the knees don't land on the floor. You can always place a pillow or blocks beneath them. See if you can keep the left shoulder resting on the floor as well. Arms are spread out wide at your sides or up overhead in the cactus formation. And the gaze can stay neutral or over to the left side, bringing the twist into your neck. Filling up the lower left belly with breath. Bring the gaze through center. Let the knees find center as well. Lower the feet to the ground, lift the hips up, and just give them a sway from side to side. Find your neutral. And from that center position, lift the hips up once again, shift them over to the right a few inches. Lower them back down towards the mat as you draw the knees in towards your chest. Lengthen the spine first, and then allow the knees to find their way over to the left, supporting them with whatever props you have handy, or letting them rest on the floor. Right shoulder stays in contact with the mat as you gaze to the right. Each breath in, creating distance between the right hip and the right shoulder. Let your gaze come back through center. And the knees find center as well. Lower the feet to the floor. Lift the hips up and shift them back to the midline. Again, you can just give them a gentle sway from side to side until they find their neutral, and then lower them back down to the ground. Walk the heels in nice and close towards your glutes, and reach your fingertips towards the heels, palms face down. It's as if you're trying to tickle the heels with your fingers, but it's okay if you can't touch. Tuck the shoulder blades beneath you to stay open through the chest. We're going to press down to the feet. Inhale, lift the pelvis up towards the ceiling for a bridge pose. So the pelvis is lifting up off of the mat. On the exhale, lower back down. Inhale, press down through the feet, lift the pelvis towards the sky. Belly button pulls in towards the spine. Exhale, lower. One more time, inhale, lift up and hold. So option to keep the palms on the floor here, or you can interlace the fingers beneath the pelvis, drawing the knuckles away from the top of your head. Pressing down through the pinky finger of the hands. Continue to drive down through all four corners of your feet as you lift the pelvis a little bit higher. Option to squeeze a block between the thighs, or simply imagine the presence of a block between the thighs. Keep those legs active. Release the fingers if they're interlaced, and inch by inch lower back down towards the mat. Draw the knees in towards your chest. And take hold of them, give them a hug. With the knees drawn in, start to send them wide, creating distance between the thighs. Send the shoulder, or the knees rather, to the outer edges of the shoulders. Keep the pelvis firmly in contact with the mat. We're not coming up into a cat-like back. We're not lifting the pelvis off the mat here. Keep the spine long. Option to stay here with the knees nice and wide to the edges of the shoulders. Or you can take the left knee, lower the foot to the floor. And we're going to take the right hand to the inside of the right thigh, across the right shin, and take hold of the outer edge of the right foot for half happy baby. So the right foot is on the floor, or rather the left foot is on the floor, the left knee is bent. The right arms to the inside of the right thigh, across the shin, and holding onto the outer edge of the right foot. From here, start to send the right knee towards the floor beside the right shoulder as you inch the right foot Sole of the foot towards the sky. Coming into about a 90-degree bend with the knee. It's okay if you don't get all the way to a 90-degree. Maybe you have a little bit of a smaller angle here. It's just the general direction to move the joints. Looking for a bit of a stretch into the hip, into the thigh. Option to stay onto the sole of the left foot or tip over onto the pinky toe edge, lifting the inner arch off of the floor. Showing the inseam of the left pant leg to the ceiling as if you're using that left leg for a bit of a counterbalance here. Maintain length in the spine. And with each breath out, maybe you're able to send the right knee a little bit closer towards the floor beside you. Maybe you're able to inch a little bit closer to that 90-degree angle. From here, bring the sole of the left foot back onto the floor. And if you're holding both knees towards the shoulders, you can do the same. Sole of the left foot on the floor. Start to bring the pinky toe edge of the right foot onto the left thigh here, creating a figure 4 shape with the legs. Really squeeze the pinky toe edge of the right foot into the left thigh into the right foot, as you direct the right knee away from your shoulders. Square up your hips and the shoulders, equal weight on both left and right sides. The right ankle is flexed, and we're looking to feel a stretch into the right hip and the right glute area. If you're not feeling the stretch quite yet, you can take the right hand in the space you created between the legs. Draw the left knee in towards the left shoulder. Take hold of the back of the left thigh or around the left shin. Continue reaching the right knee away from the shoulders and see if that brings a little bit more of a stretch into the right hip or the right thigh. Pressing down through the pelvis. Without really shifting the shoulders at all, just focusing on the lower half of your body. Do a gentle sway from side to side, a little left to right motion. Just pause in any areas that you might feel more of a stretch. Kind of shifting the weight from the left to right hip here, but both shoulders stay as close to stillness as they can. Once you find an area with a little bit of tension, a little bit of tightness, just pause there. Take a breath or two before moving on. Find stillness in the center. Lower the sole of the left foot to the floor. Take hold of the back of the right thigh as you reach the right foot up towards the ceiling here. And so you can interlace your fingers behind the right thigh. You can just hold on to the pant leg or use a strap. Aim to have the right leg mostly straight. So that may mean that your leg is at a little less of an angle here. You may not have the sole of the foot reaching towards the ceiling quite yet. We're just looking to feel a stretch of the back of the thigh into the hamstring. And then work on reaching the heel towards the ceiling. So whether that's from close to the ground, reaching the heel to the ceiling, or with the sole of the foot parallel to the sky. The fingers interlaced on the back of the thigh or just holding on to that area. Start to take a few gentle circles through the right ankle. Feel the muscle engage behind your hands. Just notice any change in the hamstrings with each gentle rotation of the ankle. And taking them in the opposite direction. Pausing in stillness with a flexed ankles, toes drawn towards your face. Maybe you're able to add a little bit of pressure behind the thigh to draw the toes closer towards the floor behind you. Both hips in contact with the floor. Release the arms at your sides. Draw your belly button in towards your spine. Take a big inhale to lengthen through the back. And as you exhale for the count of 5, slowly lower your straight leg towards the floor. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause at a hover. We're going to draw the sole of the foot back towards the ceiling here. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. See if you can do this without lifting your tailbone off of the ground. Lowering back down. Straight leg for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep that core engaged. Foot's at a hover. Bring the sole back towards the ceiling for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. One last time. Lowering the heel for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause at a hover above the floor. Just stay there, pause, maybe gentle 1-inch motions up and down. Ever so slight movements here. Belly button is drawn down towards the spine. And then lower the heel to the floor. Extend the left leg long to meet the right. And release through the legs. Find a mini shavasana here. Let the legs fall into stillness. Doing a gentle scan of the body, the tips of your toes to the top of your head. Noticing any subtle changes from left to right sides. Slide the feet together at the bottom of the mat. Draw the knees in towards your chest. Maybe just taking a few gentle circles with the knees here in both directions. Pause in the center. And take the knees nice and wide, creating that space between the thighs. The knees are being reached towards the floor on the outside of the shoulders here. The option to stay just as you are for another round. And the knees wide in towards the shoulders. Or we'll move to half happy baby on the opposite side. So to do happy baby, we're going to lower the sole of the right foot to the floor. Take the left arm to the inside of the left thigh. Reach it across the left shin and take hold of the outer edge of the left foot. The right foot is on the floor with a bent knee. The left arm is to the inside of the left thigh, across the top of the shin and holding onto the outside of the left foot or ankle. Start to send the left knee towards the floor on the outside of the left shoulder. Reaching the left heel away from the glutes towards the ceiling with a bent knee. Notice if you started to lift your right hip off of the floor, can you send it back down into the ground? Decide if you would like to keep the sole of the right foot on the floor or start to tip over onto the pinky toe edge, exposing the inseam of the right pant leg to the sky. This just acts as a little bit of counterbalance. Maybe you feel a bit more of a stretch into the inner thighs, into the hips. You can always hold on to the back of the thigh here or use a strap if it makes it more accessible. Can you find some softness through your face? Find that belly breath. Give your mind something to focus on other than the thoughts. The sole of the right foot comes back to the floor if it's not there already. If the knees are drawn into the shoulder, you can release the right leg, let the sole of the right foot find the floor as well. Next, we're going to take the pinky toe edge of the left foot and allow it to land on top of the right thigh. With a flexed left ankle, reach the left knee away from your face. Just check in with your body here. You square up the shoulders with the hips, find equal weight from left to right sides. Notice if you're feeling any stretch into the left hip, the left glute. If not, you can reach between the thighs with the left hand, draw the right knee in towards the right shoulder. Take hold of the right thigh or the right shin. If you notice that the shoulders are lifting up in order to reach the thigh, you can use a strap, a belt, a long sleeve shirt, or a towel just to add length to the arms. Keep a deep flex through the left ankle here. The pinky toe edge of the left foot squeezes into the right thigh squeezes into the left foot. Shoulders are stable and still as you start to rock the knees from side to side. Just shifting the weight from the left hip to the right. Keep reaching the left knee away from the shoulders. Find stillness in the center for just a few more breaths here. Lower the right foot to the floor, the right knee still bent. You can take hold of the back of the left thigh as you reach the left foot up towards the ceiling. Flex through the left ankle, draw the toes towards your face. Lengthen through the spine, and without losing that length, start to draw the left thigh a little bit closer towards the belly. The toes a little bit closer towards the floor behind you. Take those gentle rotations through the left ankle, pointing and flexing through the toes. See if you can really isolate that movement to just the ankle. Avoid bending the knee with each circle. Take the rotations in the opposite direction. And pause in the center with the ankle flexed, the leg active. The sole of the left foot is trying to reach itself up towards the sky, driving through the heel. The left hip is so firmly rooted, it's resisting that pull. From here, you can release the arms at your sides, palms up or down, whichever you prefer. Keep all four corners of the right foot on the floor. Belly button draws in towards the spine. Take a big inhale. And as you exhale, slowly lower the left heel towards the floor with a straight leg for 5, 4. Keep exhaling. 3, 2, 1. Pause at a hover, still a straight leg. 1 slow inhale brings the foot back towards the ceiling. Belly button stays drawn down. 1 really long, slow exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep reaching through the left heel. As you inhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sole of the foot to the sky. Big exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last big inhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. As you exhale slowly, we're going to lower down for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause at a hover. And just find those little micro movements, up and down motions with the left heel. Barely an inch. And slowly lower the left foot to the floor. Bend the left knee, let it meet the right. As you draw the knees in towards your chest, interlace around them. Give yourself a hug. Maybe taking the knees in gentle circles here in both directions. Knees bent, feet to the floor. Bring the right arm up overhead. And roll over onto your right side body. You can use your right arm as a pillow. Draw the left knee, or the knees rather, in towards your chest. Really finding space through the back body here. Allowing the back body to move freely with breath, without the floor's resistance. When you feel ready in your own time, find your way up to a tabletop position. From your tabletop, let the shoulders be above the wrists, the hips above the knees. We'll move through a few cat and cows. So on the inhale, lift your tailbone, let your belly drop. Heart comes forward, gaze comes up. On the exhale, scoop the tailbone beneath you. Draw the belly button up towards the ceiling as you round through the spine, gaze to your belly button. Inhale, lift the tailbone, belly drops, heart comes forward and up. Exhale, rounding through the spine, tuck the tailbone, gaze to your belly button. Inhale, cow, tailbone lifts, heart comes forward, gaze comes up. Exhale, cat, rounding spine, gaze to the belly button. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more in each direction. Following your own rhythm of breath. Landing in a neutral spine. From here, we're going to let the big toes come to touch. Send the knees wide apart. Shift your hips back towards your heels and slide the fingertips away from your hips, coming into a child's pose here. Let your forehead rest on something. So maybe that's onto the floor or onto a block or a towel. Gentle rock from side to side to massage the forehead, the third eye, stimulating the parasympathetic nervous system, encouraging your body to relax, encouraging the mind to find stillness and silence. Find stillness in the center of your child's pose. And find your way up through tabletop. From here, bring some weight into the left palm. Reach the right fingertips up towards the ceiling, opening your heart up towards the right side of the room. As we exhale, we're going to bring the right arm through the space you've created between the left arm and the body. Palm faces up as you slide the right hand over to the left, bringing the right shoulder down towards the mat. Press down through the left palm. Reach the right fingertips up towards the ceiling, gaze to the sky. Exhale, thread the right arm through, palm faces up, right shoulder towards the floor as the top of the head comes to rest by the floor. One more time, press down through the left, reach up through the right, creating distance between the left and right hands. Exhale, thread the right arm through, palm faces up, reach the right fingertips over to the left as the right shoulder comes to rest on the floor. And the top right corner of your head finds the floor as well. See if you can square up your hips. Press down through the entire length of your right arm. Left palm can stay on the floor with the elbow bent, or you can reach the fingertips away from your hips, from your pelvis, creating a long left arm in front of you. Alternatively, you can reach the left hand behind you and place it on your low back over towards the right hip, opening up your chest to the left side of the room. Whichever variation works best today. The right fingertips are reaching over to the left, with the right shoulder is drawn back into the shoulder, preventing it from going too far. Return the left hand to the floor, bring a bend through the elbow. Press down through the left palm. Reach the right fingertips up towards the ceiling, release that side. Then slowly lower the right hand back towards the mat. The weight comes into the right palm. Find integrity through the right shoulder. We don't want to sink down into it. Reach the left fingertips high towards the ceiling. Open your heart up towards the left. And we're going to thread it through 2 times before landing on the third. So reach the left fingertips over to the right, lowering the left shoulder and head to the floor. Press down through the palm, big breath in, reach the left fingertips high, press down through the right. Exhale, thread it through. Inhale, reach up. And this time, as we thread through, we're going to hold the pose. So really slide that left hand as far over to the right as it can go, lowering the left shoulder to the mat. The top left corner of your head finds the floor. Square up the hips. The right elbow can stay bent, or you can extend the right arm long in front of you. Or you can release the right arm to your low back, maybe even all the way over to the left hip. Pressing down through the left arm, all the way from fingertips to shoulder. The chest, the heart is open to the right side of the room. If the right arm is extended or lifted behind you, you can bring the palm to the floor and bend in the elbow. Press down through the right palm as you reach the left fingertips high towards the ceiling. Releasing through the upper back, the shoulders. Let your left hand find the floor. Returning to your tabletop. From your tabletop, extend the right leg long behind you, parallel with the floor. Take a few little circles through the right ankle in both directions. Turn the toes to face the right side of the room. Bend the right knee, step forward to the top right corner of the mat. Take as many steps as you need to get there. I'm just taking a few moments in this wide lunge stance. This lizard pose. You can point the toes of the right foot slightly out towards the right. The left leg is extended long behind you, or you can have a bend in the knee. We're just looking through a stretch through the front of the left hip here, maybe even into the right. See if you can find length through your back body. So rather than rounding through a cat-like back, see if you can find length from the tailbone to the top of your head. Start to heel toe the right foot through center. And let the hands frame the right leg. The wider your stance is here, the better your balance will be. And so if you find you're a little bit wobbly, create some distance between the inner arch of the right foot and the inside of the left thigh. Maybe you choose to shorten the stance and bring a little more bend into your left leg. Stay here with the hands on the floor, or you can bring them up onto the right knee and find your lunge again. Again, maybe now that you're lifted up a little bit, you have more of a bend in the left leg, that's okay. Stay here with the hands on the right knee, or we're going to reach the fingertips towards the sky. Maybe even a gentle back bend here. Inhale, reach up towards the sky, straighten the spine. We'll take a few little rotations through the arms. Try to avoid swaying forwards and backwards in your lunge. I'm going to shift over so I'm not hitting the wall behind me. You can do the same if you have obstacles around you too. Taking those big circles with the arms, trying to maintain your balance. And take the circles in the opposite direction. And pausing the next time your arms reach up. Lower the hands to frame the front foot. With the left hand to the inside of the right foot. Bring the right hand up on top of the right thigh. Open your heart towards the right for a bit of a twist in your lunge. And keep the right knee drawn into the midline. We're not tipping over onto the pinky toe edge of the right foot here. Right hand can stay on the right knee or extend the fingertips high towards the ceiling. Gaze is neutral or up towards the sky. And see if you can maintain integrity through the left shoulder. Try not to sink down into it. Keep distance between the left ear and the left shoulder. Lower the right hand to frame the right foot. And you may be feeling a lot of tension now into the front of the left hip, into the left thigh. We've been holding this lunge for a while. So to reverse that, we're going to start to walk the hands back towards the hips. Feel that tension automatically ease off a little bit. Come up onto the heel of the right foot. Draw the toes of the right foot towards your shin. You can have the hands on the floor, or you can bring them up onto a block if you have them. Just to add a little bit of height, a little bit of length to those arms. The good thing about blocks is there's multiple heights to choose from. I'm just finding what works best for you. We want a straight back here. So if you're rounding into a cat leg back, it could be a sign that you're trying to go too far too fast. Without necessarily trying to sit down, send your tailbone towards the left heel. But don't allow it to shift the right heel backwards. We're looking for length up the back of the right leg. And sending the heart beyond the right ankle. And then folding forward. And start to walk the hands forward to frame the right foot, coming back to your low lunge. Right hand comes to the inside of the right leg. Shift your hips back a little bit so that you're able to slide the right leg back to meet the left. Take a few gentle sways from side to side with the hips. And find your tabletop. The left leg extends out long behind, flex through the ankle. And then start to take a few gentle rotations through the left ankle. Take those rotations in the opposite direction. And pause with the flexed ankle. Turn the toes to face the left side of the room. Bend the left knee, step forward to the top left corner of your mat. Take 2, take 3 steps if you need. And just find the position of your back leg, the right leg. Decide how much of a bend or how little of a bend you need in the right knee to support this. You can always fold over your mat to add a little extra cushion beneath the right knee, or you can put a folded up towel or blanket there. Left toes are drawn a few inches away from the midline, so the toes point outwards. You can be on your palms, you can be up onto fists if you have sore wrists. You can bring your hands up onto blocks or books if you have them nearby. Just taking a few minutes here to open up through the hips. And then heel toe, the left foot through center. Coming into your low lunge. And so again, you may have to adjust the back leg. Take a little bit more of a bend if you're feeling too much stretch in the front of the right thigh and into the right hip here. If you're not feeling stretch at all, walk the right knee away from the left heel, towards the back of your mat. And from here, once you find your stance, we're going to bring the hands up onto the left knee. And take a few minutes in this position. And then reach the fingertips up towards the ceiling, lengthen through the spine, maybe at gentle back bend. Come out of the back bend, nice straight spine here. And we'll take those gentle arm rotations. Again, creating space if you need for the arms to move. Just noticing the mobility in the shoulders. Do you find you have more motion in the left or right arm? Any tightness? You can also bend the elbows if it's too much. Take the rotations in the opposite direction. Are the circles bigger or smaller in this direction? Does it come more naturally or is it more of a challenge? Pausing as the fingertips reach to the sky. And then lowering the hands back down to frame the front foot. Lowering down into your low lunge. Just noticing the front of the right hip, the thigh, any tension, any tightness. And then we'll start to ease off on that by walking the hands towards the hips. You can bring the blocks with you if you choose to do so. Coming up onto the heel of the left foot. Left ankle's flexed, the left leg is active. So press down to the left heel. Draw the left hip back towards the right heel, without actually moving the left heel. And send the tailbone away from the top of the head. So it's as if you're trying to sit down on the right heel, but someone is pulling you by a string on the top of the head, preventing you from sitting down. If you choose to fold over the left leg, don't try to touch your forehead to the shin. Instead, try to touch your belly button to the left knee, your heart to your ankle. The top of your head beyond your toes to the rim in front of you. Walk the hands forward, bringing a bend back into the left leg for your low lunge. Both hands to the inside of the left leg. Heel toe, the left foot to the outer edge of your mat. Shift your hips back and return to your tabletop, whatever way works for you. That gentle sway from side to side with your hips. And then we'll come to land on our backs with the knees bent to begin. And so lying on your back, the knees bent. Start to heel toe, the feet towards the right edge of the mat. The hips stay centered here or slightly to the left as the feet walk over to the right edge. From here, extend the left leg long to the bottom right corner of the mat. Reach the arms up overhead, still resting on the floor. They can be extended long, or you can take hold of opposite elbows. The left foot is to the bottom right corner of the mat. The hips are centered. Start to walk the upper body to the top right corner of the mat, creating a long curve shape with the left side of your body here. So the feet and the arms are over to the right, the hips are to the left. So a few options here. You can keep the right knee bent just as it is. You can tip over onto the inner arch of the right foot, letting the right thigh land on top of the left. Or you can extend the right leg long to meet the left at the bottom of your mat for just a standard Bananasana. Making that C shape with your body. So whether or not you want the right knee bent is up to you. Just choosing what feels best today, looking for a stretch in the left side body. Each breath in, inviting space and length through the right hip, the right waist and ribs. Creating length with the left. The left hip is firmly rooted into the mat, not lifting up. Slowly release the upper body back through center. Bend through the knees. Let the feet find the floor as they heel toe back through center as well. Just pausing for a moment here in the center. Maybe draw the knees in towards your chest. Give a gentle rock from side to side to find your neutral. Lower the soles of the feet to the floor. Just take a moment to appreciate any changes from left to right sides. The soles of the feet on the floor, start to walk them over to the left side of the mat. And extend the right leg long to the bottom left corner of the mat. Arms reach up overhead, extended long or taking hold of opposite elbows. The hips stay centered or slightly to the right as you send your upper body to the top left corner, creating that banana shape with your body. And then just check in with the lower half. And see if you like to keep the left leg bent, sole of the foot on the floor, or if you're going to lift up the pinky toe edge of the left foot, come onto the inner arch as you let the inseam of the left pant leg land on top of the right thigh. Maybe you choose to extend the left leg long to meet the right leg at the bottom left corner of your mat. Settle into stillness in this pose. Feel the breath as it moves all the way down the right side body. Right arm, the right ribs and waist. Right hip, all the way down the leg up the pinky toe edge of the right foot. The grounding down to the right hip as you breathe into your belly. Release the upper body back through center. Bend through the knees and heel toe the feet through center as well. Once again, draw those knees towards the chest. Give a gentle rock from side to side, resetting the spine. Maybe even a gentle rock forward and backwards, rolling up the length of the spine. Keep your chin drawn in towards your chest here. As you slow the rocking motion, come to pause, find some stillness. Keep the chin and shoulders lifted. Curl into a nice tight ball here. Take one big breath in and exhale as you lower the head, the shoulders to the mat. Keep the knees bent. Let the feet find the floor as well. With the knees bent, soles of the feet come to touch, knees fall wide apart, creating a diamond shape with the legs. Feel the soles of the feet supporting one another. The closer the heels are to the pelvis, the more of a stretch you'll be feeling. So to ease off, you can send the toes away from the mirror. We're not in a studio, so you don't have a mirror. It's just a force of habit. Slide the toes away from your shoulders. It can feel nice to place a pillow or blocks beneath the knees. Let it be more restorative today. Arms can be at your sides or place one hand on your belly, one hand on your heart, and just follow the natural rhythm of your breath. A gentle rise and fall. You don't have to have your hands on your belly to have that same awareness. Just witness the breath, how the body naturally moves with it. Invite your eyes to softly close. Feel the legs as they surrender to gravity, opening up through the inner thighs, the hips. You can stay with the legs just as they are, or you can extend the feet down to the bottom corners of your mat, releasing the arms at your sides to find your final resting pose. Take a moment here to take any last minute wiggles or adjustments that you need to find stillness. Maybe clenching all the muscles in towards the bones, making fists with your hands, with your feet, curling the toes and fingers in tight, squeezing your teeth together, drawing all of the muscles in towards the bone as you squeeze. Take a big inhale, continue to squeeze for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale with an audible sigh. Ha! Let that go. Big inhale, squeeze all of the muscles, the fingers, the toes in towards the bones, clenching the teeth, squeezing the face to the inside. And exhale, ha! Let it go. One last time, big squeeze all of the muscles for 5, 4, keep inhaling, 3, 2, 1. Biggest exhale yet. Ha! Let it go and relax. Let all of the limbs, the fingers, the toes, the arms and legs, left and right, settle into stillness and become heavy. Release any effort of breath. Let it become its natural rhythm, its natural rate. There is no need for a single muscle of your body to have effort here in this moment. The entire body engulfed in stillness can now feel safe, supported, and relaxed. You can continue to remain here on your mat for as long as you allow yourself to. Each time you do a practice, see if you can offer yourself 1 or 2 more breaths on your back in stillness. We so seldom take time for ourselves in times of quiet, of motionlessness, time to relax, that we actually have to force ourselves into it at times. But the more you do it, the more often you offer yourself that breath or 2, the more your body will become used to it, the more it will adjust, and the more it will welcome that stillness. When you do feel it's time to get up and go, do so slowly and mindfully, taking a little bit of the breath, the peace, the joy you've cultivated here on your mat with you into the rest of your day, your week, your month.